very good morning and welcome to NewsDesk. We are live on DSTV channel 421, Go TV channel 125 across all our social media handles. We are Joe News on TV. Coming up within the next 60 minutes, Electoral Commission moves to limit the presence of journalists in constituency and regional collation centers, asking its regional directors to provide names of credible media houses to be accredited. We have details, plus we'll get the response of some stakeholders here on NewsDesk. Also, Food and Drugs Authority opens itself up for audits by both local and international bodies to validate its action regarding the alleged distribution of unwholesome rice to senior high schools, insisting that all approvals granted adhere strictly to best practices and regulatory standards.
The authority operates with independence, transparency, and professionalism. To address any public concerns, the FDA is open to audits by qualified local or international bodies to validate all its actions.
And later in the bulletin, we'll take you live to the University of Ghana, Legon, where your election headquarters is hosting a mock voting exercise to boost electoral confidence of first-time voters ahead of December 7th polls. My name is Faustina Safo. Please take a seat and be my guest. Thanks for choosing us. We are your home of independent, fearless, and credible journalism. Now, we start with the Electoral Commission because they are taking steps to limit the number of journalists who will be allowed entry into constituency and regional collation centers after the December election. Now, according to a memo sent from the EC's headquarters in Accra to the regional directors, the EC is requesting for the names of credible media houses to be accredited by the Commission. The regional directors were expected to provide the names by yesterday when the deadline given expired. Well, on your screens coming up shortly is that memo by the Electoral Commission. It reads that ahead of Election Day on December 7, this comes to request that you send us the names of credible media houses, that is radio and TV stations in your districts and regions. The purpose is to enable us provide them with accreditation, which will allow them entry into the constituency collation centers and the regional collation centers. It also states that for the constituency collation centers, 8 media houses per constituency collation centers. They're letting us know how many media houses they would allow per constituency collation center. They say they want 8 media houses, and they say they want 3 TV stations, 2 personnel per station. So this is not factoring if you have sound technicians on you, probably wanting to go on the field. They're just factoring probably the reporter and the camera technician. They say they want 5 radio stations also per constituency collation center. Now, for the regional collation center, they want 12 media houses, 5 TV stations, 2 personnel each, and then 7 radio stations, 1 personnel each. Now, they go on to say that please submit names of media houses before the close of day, Monday, 25th of November, 2024. Please note that without the accreditation, no media personnel can enter our collation centers. So that's the memo from the Electoral Commission, and we know that on Monday, the directors ought to have provided them with a list. We will be, broadening the conversation at 12 p.m. when we bring you Joe News today, because we want to get the thoughts of Media Foundation of West Africa, as well as other key actors in the media space, especially the GJA, their thoughts on this and how this will impact on coverage of the election coming December 7th. Away from that, the Food and Drugs Authority has expressed its readiness to undergo audits by local and international bodies to validate its action regarding the alleged distribution of unwholesome rice to senior high schools, while the authority maintains that all approvals granted adhere strictly to best practices and regulatory standards. The FDA emphasized its commitment to transparency and public health safety among other ththings. Now, the authority has come under heavy pressure for failing to do due diligence before extending the best before date for the over 22,000 bags of rice imported by Laments Africa Limited. Norton MP Samuel Okujeto-Ablakwa, who first raised the alarm, claims documents revealed that the rice was initially recommended for distraction. Let's listen to him, then we'll come back and hear from the FDA.
But I have an internal FDA memo dated 29 December where the FDA's original roadmap was that 1, let's move in to stop the rebagging. 2, let us dispose of the rice, destroy the rice. And then 3, fine this company 150,000. It is shocking that when the Laments directors were arrested on the 20th of December, a lot of miracles happened. Calls from above released them. Then you remember the letter I read from JJ Boy, the superintendent in charge of crime from Ashanti, where he had sent samples to FDA. Will you believe that before these FDA test results will arrive on the 6th of February, an order came from above that the rice should be sent to our school. So all 22,000 bags were removed from the NAFCO storage facility and distributed to our kids.
Bags of rice that were under investigation by the FDA.
And I have here the FDA report which came on the 6th. And if they had waited for this FDA report, they wouldn't have shared the rice, because the FDA report confirms that, quote, presence of insect does not conform to the compliance statement. And this is signed by Marian Vivian Hammond, Marian Joseph Ufosusia. Yeah, insects.
They found insects
in the rice,
which was then distributed to children.
Which had been distributed.
Okay,
by the 2nd of February, 1st and 2nd February, they had distributed this. Then the rice also had high fat acidity, so the rice was unwholesome and should not. I have given this to doctors. Medical doctors have told me that, look, this should not have been fed to our students.
Well, the Chief Executive Officer of the FDA, Dr. Delise Mimidaukum, at a news conference on Tuesday, justified the authorities' decision and their action. My colleague Kwame Kudoga joins me live with that explanation the FDA has been given. Prince, let's start with the 22 bags of rice. What exactly did the FDA say is the explanation for enabling that the best before date be changed?
So, firstly, the FDA says that after following that tip-off that there was a rebagging at a warehouse, an unlicensed warehouse in Kumasi, the FDA moved in with the police service to, stop the rebagging. Subsequently, they fined Laments some money, administrative fines. Then Laments wrote to the FDA requesting for the extension of the shelf life of this product. The FDA initially denied Laments' request, stating that it's only the manufacturer who can request for the extension of the shelf life of the product. Subsequently, Laments got a letter from the manufacturer of the product from India and a certified lab test or test of the product from a certified institution also in India. Following that, the FDA themselves conducted independent tests on the product, and following that, they granted the request for the extension of the shelf life, stating that the manufacturer stated in their letter that they give to Laments that the product can be, the shelf life of the product can be extended for another 1 year if the product is stored in good condition. That is why the FDA extended the shelf life of the product, that the 22,000 bags of rice that was shared to students across the country. The FDA stated that they did no wrong, and at the time the shelf life of this product were expanded, the product were wholesome and safe for the consumption of the students.
Let's listen to the FDA.
On December 20th, 2023, the FDA Kumasi office received reports of repackaging of rice in a NAFCO warehouse. The FDA Kumasi officers, accompanied by officers from the police service Kumasi, inspected the facility, which was previously locked by the police, and confirmed the repackaging activity and resealed the premises. Subsequently, an administrative fine of 100,000 cedis was imposed on the importer for the repackaging, contrary to the provisions of the Public Health Act of 2012, Act 851. Following the submission of the preliminary investigation report by the Kumasi office to the head office, it was realized that the products in question had best before end dates of 2023 and not an expiry date as contained in the initial submission that came from Laments with the analytical report from CSIR. Based on the above, the FDA reviewed its response to the importer's letter dated December 4, 2023, and communicated the following to the reporter. 1, that the shelf life extension must be aligned with the manufacturer's guidelines. 2, that the CSIR FRI report lacked certain critical tests for moisture and mold. Based on all of the above, the FDA Center for Laboratory Services and Research also did a thorough review of the analytical reports from the CSIR FRI and the FDA's own confirmatory analytical report of samples that were submitted by the Enforcement Directorate. And they confirmed that the rice was wholesome at the time of the analysis. The authority then granted a provisional extension until April 30th, 2024, not the December 2024 as was requested by the manufacturer.
Well, Prince is still with us. Prince, we know that Dr. Mimi Darko said the FDA is open to any probe, both internationally and externally. Expatiate on that for me.
Well, firstly, the FDA says that they are a reputable and an independent institution. They touted their credibility, stating that they've been working in their field and they are the best, of such institutions that you can find in Africa and in the world. So they are validating their position and the reasons for granting that extension. They say that they are open to an audit by any credible, independent, local or international audit that will prove that, or that will validate their position, stating that they did no wrong in this matter. Firstly,
let's listen to the FDA.
Shelf life and consumer safety. The FDA follows international best practices for food safety, including use-by dates, which indicate safety, and foods must not be consumed past a use-by date. Expiry date, which indicates both safety and quality. Expired products are unsafe and should be disposed of. Best before end date. This relates to quality and not safety. Foods may lose their flavor or texture, but remain safe if stored correctly. The authority, like other authorities globally, may use accepted regulatory extensions of best before dates following rigorous testing and compliance with storage requirements, and this is in line with international best practices. The FDA also wishes to assure the public that it confirmed the wholesomeness of the consignment of rice in question and gives assurance that with all the other certificates that were submitted from India, from PPRSD, from CSIR FRI, and concluded that the rice was wholesome before it was released for distribution. The authority wishes to reiterate the fact that it is committed to ensuring the safety and quality of all products, including food on the market. And in this regard, it has carried out several safe disposal of consignments of food, including rice, whose safety and quality could not be assured or guaranteed. The FDA's reputation for excellence is backed by ISO certification and the largest ISO accredited laboratory scope in Africa. The FDA also tirelessly followed up on the long dormant National Food Safety Policy, ensuring its successful launch. It also acts as a secretariat for the National Food Safety Emergency Response Plan. The authority operates with independence, transparency, and professionalism. To address any public concerns, the FDA is open to audits by qualified local or international bodies to validate all its actions. I'll repeat, the FDA is open to audits by qualified local or international bodies to validate its actions. We remain steadfast in our commitment to ensuring food safety and protecting public health.
We are indeed your election headquarters.
Election Headquarters is brought to you by Petrosol Platinum Energy, Energizing Dreams, Chopbox Technology, a convenient service, German Ozone Medical Center, Alternative Therapy, Dental, Wellness and Beauty, the Chartered Institute of Management Accountants CIMA, and the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants AICPA, together as the Association of International Certified Professional Accountants. Youth Bridge Foundation, bridging the gaps for positive youth development. Syntex Tanks, Air Strong, Air Tough, Potential Real Estate, your trusted partner in real estate. Deluxe Paints, Paints Mu Champion.
Thanks for staying with us. Now, the NDC presidential candidate, John Dramani Mahama, has for the first time addressed the majority's second petition to recall Parliament. Speaking during his tour of the Western region, he reiterated the party's chairman position that their MPs will not return to Parliament until after the election. He said with just a few more days to the polls, the NDC should focus on the campaign trail, and he says that remains their focus moving forward. There's more in this report by Maxwell Agbagba.
On the second day of his tour of the Western region, John Mahama visited the Mpoho, Hunter West, Jomoro, Lembele and Takwa constituencies. In the Lembele constituency, he went all out correcting what he described as lies put out by the NPP. John Mahama responded to President Akufo-Addo's claims that he cannot sustain the 24-hour economy with a Dumso legacy, stressing that at the time he handed over power, Dumso had ended.
I expect that when NPP is telling lies, they'll leave it to the younger ones and the junior ones to do. And when the senior ones like Nana Akufo-Addo says that Dumso was not solved before we came, I heard him say that we could not keep the lights on. How can we run 24-hour economy? In 2016, Dumso had been solved. Nobody's lights went off in 2016. From January to December to the following January, when we handed over to Nana Akufo-Addo, he should bear true testimony. Dumso had been solved. And so, if you lie, you will not go to heaven. At his age, he should be preparing his soul for heaven. So he should stop lying. The
free senior high school policy, he shut down what he described as NPP propaganda, stating that the NDC will make the policy better.
If you look on social media recently, their running mate, Napo, he said, they came, he was Minister of Education at the time, that they came and paid a debt of 30 million Ghana cedis, free SHS debt from our administration. So if you say we didn't start free SHS, how did you come and pay 30 million Ghana cedis, free SHS debt? That's why I say liars will not go to heaven, and liars will be destroyed. It's in the Bible. When we come, we'll continue the second phase of the Ghana gas. And that is going to bring more jobs to this area so that our young people can get something to do. And those jobs are going to be 24-hour economy jobs. And Aminia, Deputy Majority Leader.
He criticized the NPP for pushing for the recall of Parliament 12 days before an election. He stated that the NPP could proceed, but the NDC would not be part of it.
Now say almost say majority. What do you mean to abandon?
They said they will not agree that we are the majority. Just let us finish voting. When you see the parliamentary results, you will know we are the majority. Now they want parliament to be recalled for deliberations. Just 12 days to the elections. You say we should stop campaigning and come to parliament. If they like, they should go. But the NDC will not go to parliament. After we finish voting and we see their smoothness level, then we will open parliament for all of us to go.
Na omu smoothness level la ehon ye be parliament unenye na yakọ.
John Mahama also accused the NPP of working to change the history of Ghana, adding that the future NDC government will protect the legacy of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah.
That when NDC comes into power, the revisionism that has taken place to reduce the role of Kwame Nkrumah in Ghana's independence, we will review it and bring him back to prominence. Every revolutionary struggle or every struggle for independence, many people take part. But there is one person who gives the critical spark that contributes to achieving the objective that the many want to achieve. And that person often is the founder of that nation. So when you go to Tanzania, many people contributed in the fight for independence. But if you talk about the founder of Tanzania, everybody will tell you it's Julius Nyerere.
Away from the camp of the NDC now to the NPP, President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo has denied allegations of lying his way into power. According to him, issues of unstable power supply and slow economic growth, which were main campaign messages, remain factual. The president further reiterated that the country's economy is making a turnaround. Nana Aljima was with the president when he toured some parts of the Ashanti region. He filed this report.
The president's speech at the inauguration of the newly constructed bridge at Atafua in the Bantama constituency was characterized by political jabs.
One of the most consequential decisions that Ghanaians are going to make in this generation is a decision that is going to be made on the 7th of December. And we're being told the senior citizens of this country should keep out of that matter. We will not keep out of it. We will not keep out of it.
The president emphasized his campaign to unseat the former president, John Mahama, was based on facts, contrary to opinions expressed by the opposition.
He's saying that in 2016, I came to power, I came to office by telling lies to the Ghanaian people. What are the lies I told? Dumsor was my making. I lied about Dumsor. Did I lie about the 3.4% sluggish rate of growth in Ghana at the time? Were all these lies created by Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo? All these were lies. They were hard facts. But if he's trying to find a way to excuse himself for his abysmal failure in 2016, he should find another thing, another story to tell.
He further emphasized the country's economy has been turned around following a dip in the time of COVID-19 pandemic.
The last quarter of the year, the rate of growth of Ghana's GDP was 6.9%, double what it was when he was leaving office in 2016. This is after all the difficulties. Our economy is beginning to pick up.
For joining us,
Yes,
Kumasi.
I want to invite.
Well, it's just 10 days to election 2024, and as your election headquarters, we're committed to ensuring a peaceful and informed electoral process. That is why we're hosting a mock voting exercise to boost electoral confidence of first-time voters ahead of the December 7 polls. The Electoral Commission, alongside with other stakeholders, they will be present to address any issues that may arise. The aim is to ensure that potential errors are identified and rectified, equipping young voters to avoid similar mistakes on December 7. Well, let's cross over live to the University of Ghana, Legon. My colleague Lois Shola DME is on the ground. Lois, walk us through what exactly we should expect today.
Good morning, and you are welcome to a very special episode of Just Turned 18. My name is Loishala Ademi again, and we are live right here at the University of Ghana, specifically the Political of Science, department. Now, today we are here for the mock, mock exercise. We are going through the election process with first-time voters because, over the course of 6 months, we've gone across the country asking the first-time voters the pertinent issues that will influence their decision in the voting booth. Now, today we're going to be seeing these first-time voters in action. They're going to go through the whole electoral process, and we have reps from the Electoral Commission here, and the contestants or the people going to be participating in these election are also here. And without wasting my time, let's speak to our rep from the Electoral Commission. Please join me, ma'am. All right. Now, good morning.
Good morning.
All right. Now, we are going to be doing the voting simulation process very soon. And I want to find out, what are your expectations, especially for these first-time voters?
And thank you very much. Today, as you rightly said, we're going to have a simulation of how the 7th December poll is going to be like. And we are targeting the first-time voters. And what we are expecting of them is how they'll be able to cast their ballots peacefully, effectively, without making any mistakes, which I mean no rejected ballots. We don't want to find any rejected ballots, especially coming from our first-time voters. And again, we are going to explain to them after the simulation exercise how the entire voting process is. They will get to know how the voting process is when they enter the polling stations, their expectations and what they are supposed to do and what they are not supposed to do. And after the polls, how we do our counting. They're going to learn how we will count our ballots and how we're going to announce the results for the various candidates at the polling stations. I said how we're going to announce the results for the various candidates at the polling stations.
So this is the full process.
Precisely. It's the full process. Very, very brief, but then they'll get everything they are supposed to know and what they are supposed to do and expect on election day.
All right, thank you. So it is already estimated that over 700,000 first-time voters are going to be participating in the elections. And we are using this initiative to make sure that when they get to the polls, they make the right choice and they exercise their franchise in the right way. Because at the end of the day, their voices matter. And when they get to the place and they make mistakes, it takes that away from them. It's stolen away from them. So this simulation process is to help make this a very easy process for them. Thank you for speaking to me. But we also have the Dean for the Political Science Association or Political Science Students Association here with me. Now I have with me Mrs. Rosina Foley, and she's going to tell us how the Political Science Department has, in their own way, prepared the contestants. Why do I keep saying contestants? But prepared the people or our first-time voters to, participate in the elections. Now, Mrs. Foley, good morning.
Good morning. So, and I'm the patron.
The patron, yes.
The patron of the Political Science Student Association, and he's also one of the patrons of the Political
All right.
Science.
Now, we are here. You see these students all the time. I mean, it's Political Science Department, so obviously they are always run through the elections and how they're supposed to, or the right way to do it. Now, I wanted to find out how we as patrons and you, who is always on ground with them, how have we prepared them, or how prepared are they for the elections?
So one of the ways I think will be this simulation exercise that we are having, but for each of our classes, we have been telling them the importance of their civic duty to society, to the country, to go out to vote. And the other thing we stress is the need for participation. So participatory decision-making is one of the core tenets of every democracy. And the way we do that is through the election. So the voting is a decision-making process. And so to be able to have your voice heard is one of the things. And we stress it a lot in our classes.
So are you confident that these first-time voters will go to the booth and they would make the right decision and also, make the right choice in there?
Yes, I think I'm very confident that they will do that. Yes.
Right. All right. So you heard it. They are 100% ready because the teachers, the lecturers have made sure that they are always learning, and they're going to, probably prove you guys right in there. But also we have our first-time voters themselves. Thank you so much for speaking to me. I told you over the course of 6 months, we've gone across the country teaching and listening to these first-time voters tell us the pertinent issues that will influence their decision to vote. Now, I have with me first-time voters, and I'm going to find out from them how ready they are, and also what are some of the issues they'll look at to say, okay, I will vote for Party A or Party B. Hi, dear. How are you doing?
I'm fine.
All right. Now, the December 7 polls, we've preached it since the beginning of the year, and it's just a few days away. Now, what are your expectations as a first-time voter?
Well, actually, looking at the two parties involved, and actually, as a political scientist, I am not into any partisan politics. So, actually, I look at the policies, then I conclude as a first-time voter. So, looking at the policies right now, I've been able to conclude. I cannot come out here and then voice out whoever I'm going to vote to the public. So, whatever I have is in my mind. And at the day of the voting, we are going to know whoever we are going to vote for, because the policies are what matters. So, this is what I say to the youth, that they should look at the policies that will help our country. It is not about what people come out to say and all that, which will influence them. As a first-time voter, you are supposed to look at some of the policies that are involved, some of the things that will help the students, will help the country as a whole. Not about what people say that this is that, and you conclude as a first-time voter. You look at the policies and all that. So this is what I say to political science students. Political science students, we have learned a lot of things which you are supposed to be able to generalize everything when it comes to politics. So you look at the policies, you'll be able to analyze them, then you vote as a political science student.
All right. So he has spoken about policies. Let me come to you, my dear. Now, what are the pertinent issues? He's spoken that he will use policies as basis for his vote or who he decides to vote for. But you, what are the pertinent issues you are looking at to say, okay, I will vote?
I personally am voting because it is my civic responsibility as a citizen. And as a first-timer, I would also like to set an example for younger people to also vote. Yeah.
All right. Now, you heard me say, my dear, that over 700,000 first-time voters will be participating in the election. And these are first-time voters, mind you. Now, there are some of them that may think or say they do not want to exercise their franchise for the first time. You, who is a first-time voter, and you know how important your voice is, especially when it comes to the elections and putting someone in power, what are you telling them? Please give him your microphone. All right.
Actually, I'll tell them that if you don't vote, someone will decide for you. So someone cannot decide for you. So you need to go out and vote, because you need to follow policies, not what people are saying. That's what I will say.
All right. Now, let me speak to you. What are some of the things you've heard from, the political parties, especially the two main ones, and the other political parties that will say, okay, I want to vote for Party A or Party B. You don't necessarily have to mention the party. Please pass the microphone to him. Let's go.
I've heard of the 24-hour economy.
Okay.
And I've also heard of the free education and how the NDC wants to continue it and improve upon it.
Okay.
And the MPP too, they want to continue.
Okay. So these things are exciting you and gendering you to vote.
Exciting me. Yes.
But
right. I will be excited if they extend the free SHS to the tertiary institutions.
All right.
Yes,
okay. And now also let me end with you. What have you heard? Just like him, what have you heard that is gendering you so much to want to, participate in the elections?
Okay. Thank you very much for this opportunity. I've heard about the digitalization of one of the political parties standing, and it's saying that everywhere will be digitalized. You can have your phone and do a lot of research on it. Like a student, if you want to take the student loan fund trust, you can use your Ghana card to access it, which is also a nice policy. I've also heard about the free SHS that they are talking about, and also that if they come into power, they are going to extend it to the tertiary level, and it will help all students to engage in it. Thank you.
All right. So this is how excited our first-time voters are, to participate in the election. But also, let's give some peace messages out to our first-time voters who are going to be participating in the elections. What are you telling our first-time voters? What are the peace messages you're sending to, in fact, the whole Ghana that is going to be participating in the elections?
I'm speaking to the whole Ghana and to the youth that as this December 7th election is coming, we should instill peace in everyone. We should be there so that our ballot papers can be counted. We shouldn't engage ourselves in any chaos or fight. And also we should avoid conflict that will come among us. That's the peace message I'm sending to everyone.
All right. So you let me ask her. Now, you're going to be participating in the voting assimilation process. So what do you want to see? What are you expecting to see? And are you excited to be doing this?
Yeah, I'm really excited to be voting. And I'm hoping that the political party that is going to help us with our needs will win this election.
All right. So you heard them. They're all excited. Our first-time voters are very excited to be participating, and this mock run is going to help them do it the right way. Well, we're just about to start, and we're hoping that anybody who is around or any first-time voter who is around should make their way to the Political Science Department right here at the University of Ghana. This conversation is in partnership with Huge Bridge Foundation and the Political Science Student Association as well, right here at the University of Ghana. Remember that we start very soon, but for now, my name is Loisha Lademi. These are our first-time voters, and they are ready for the assimilation process.
Thank you, Lois, for bringing us that. So you heard, Lois, if you're around the University of Ghana, Legon, make your way there to the political department and just get your hands on our mock voting exercise so that you get an idea of how the process would be like. And then we have rep from the Electoral Commission there to teach you if you had made any mistake. The key purpose of this mock voting exercise for first-time voters is to ensure that ahead of the polls we reduce the number of spoiled ballots and also ensure that their voice is heard and their franchise recorded. Well, you're still watching Joy News Dex. We'll be back with business news. Please stay tuned in.
Welcome back to Business Live on Newsdesk. My name is Winston Taki, and now to our first business story. Development Bank Ghana has signed a memorandum of understanding with the Association of Ghana Industries as part of its mandate to accelerate the growth of key sectors of Ghana's economy. The collaboration aims to strengthen the textiles and garments industry by supporting local businesses to scale production, improve competitiveness, and create jobs. Here's more in the following report.
As part of the Memorandum of Understanding, Development Bank Ghana will partner with Association of Ghana Industries to implement a 3-year initiative that provides technical support, financial resources, and market development assistance to selected textile, garment, and fintech companies. The initiative will help address key industry challenges such as high production costs, limited skilled labor, and access to long-term financing. Speaking to Joy Business, Chief Executive Officer of DBG, Dr. Kwamina Duka said the bank with its partner financial institutions and development partners will invest at least 100 million cedis annually through long-term financing over the next 3 years in Ghana's textile and garments industry.
Clearly, we need to do more. It's as simple as that. We act as a catalyst, but there's so many areas, including this, that we spoke about today, that we really need to start making an impact. So over the next few years, you're going to see more targeted in terms of particular sectors of the industry. You're going to see a much bigger focus in terms of women-led businesses, as we mentioned, or women-owned businesses. We're going to do more in that respect.
On his part, President of the AGI, Dr. Humphrey Enyimdake, intimated that by facilitating access to funding and critical technical resources, DBG is addressing the unique challenges faced by local textile and garment companies.
AGI assisting with DBG to select companies in this value chain, both medium size, small scale, and large, and see for purpose of pilots, we might not open up to do everybody. We touch base on the ones that we believe have the orientation and the understanding to partner this particular project. So we select them, and do a due diligence and hold hand and prepare them with their books so that with DBG's collaboration, we can prepare them for the PFIs.
Chief Economist Designate at Development Bank Ghana, Professor Eric Osei-Isibe said the partnership between DBG and AGI is a vital step towards revitalizing the textiles and garment industry, paving the way for long-term economic growth and sustainability.
This partnership is more than just an agreement. It's a bold step toward revitalizing one of Ghana's most vital industries, as our CEO rightly alluded to, the textiles and garment sector. Together, we are committing to reshaping this industry, unlocking its potential, and ensuring its sustainability for generations to come.
DBG will invest an initial 566,200 cedis in dedicated financial support to AGI to execute a range of activities during the program.
Now, moving on, the Forestry Commission is urging mining companies to engage the services of local indigents in planting trees to reclaim lost biodiversity in their various mining areas. The call follows a move by the Forestry Commission to partner some firms to plant trees at selected mining sites. Speaking after signing Memorandum of Understanding with the Asante Gold Tirano, Chief Executive of the Forestry Commission, John Alote, called for more collaboration to reclaim lost lands.
They have made funds available to make sure that any tree that is planted before this reforestation program is concerned for the 13 years. That's 3 years to grow and then the 10 years to mature before handing over to the commission. We wish they do not impact on a large area, but if they do, then they have to plant 3 times the size of the area that is impacted upon. As we speak today, the area that has been impacted upon so far is about 230 hectares, and already they have worked on 100 hectares, and we hope they will quickly move into action to revegetate the other areas. We would also wish that more of the indigenous species that were at the place before the impact will be the species that will be planted, so that we will be able to maintain the biodiversity of the place. We also expect that most of the people who will be involved in the reforestation project will be people from the community, so that will be providing some benefits to the community around the area. So General Manager would expect that most of the people who will be doing the planting of the trees, the nursery, and any other activity, so far as this project is concerned, will be people from the community. That is something that our minister will always tell us, that we should make sure we engage people in the community for any project in our area. And I think it will also be good for your company if you employ people from the community.
That's all for business here on Dino News Desk. My name is Winston Taki. Over to you, Fosti.
Thank you, Winston, for bringing us business. And that's how we wrap up the bulletin. For more news, please log on to myjournline.com. My name is Faustina Asafo. Good morning.